Well, hello there, Task Force. It is a stream and we are back. Season 2 is upon us. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, Task Force. How many face reveals have we had, guys? I don't know. Like
a lot.
But I feel like this is a season 2 face reveal. I'm Trevor.
Yeah, we're going to go back into face hiding, though.
That's Alfredo. Of course, we have Jillian over here and then Christian beside me. He's got his red lights on.
What up?
Welcome, Task Force. So, yeah, so we're just doing a chill hangout with everybody to go over some Q's and A's that you guys might have. There's a lot of questions that we've seen with the launch. We want to talk about Patreon. We want to talk about kind of getting our business legs under us, as we kind of said, the digging of the new headquarters. And also, just for you guys, I don't know, Fredo, Jillian, Christian, how much you've read from some of the comments we've had on our return, but Task Force, you guys have been amazing. There's so many like in-world responses to our going independent announcement. And so I kind of wanted to read those and react kind of in between all the questions. But yeah, so feel free to chat, use the chat to ask some questions. I'm juggling a lot, so I might miss some things, but remind each other if things have been answered. Otherwise, you can go ahead and without spamming, kind of reiterate questions if we haven't gotten there. I also have the Patreon up where we made a post about this stream. So there's a few questions kind of in there. But let's see. So one of the first things that a lot of people have asked, and so I want to kind of address it out the gate, is having the name Red Web. A lot of people asking about the rights and how all that process works. I'm super grateful for everybody being so in tune with what's going on behind the scenes and asking questions. To be honest, there's NDAs in place, as there are in the business world, but all it's actually a document that just says
yeah. Page 4.
97 pages.
97 pages.
Yeah.
It's true. That's the one thing we can say. It's 97 pages. And then right at the very end, it goes, shut the fuck up. Shout out to Master Pancake, an enormous Austin staple. If you're ever in Austin, go see their show. Anyway, but yeah, basically, we're able to stay on as Red Web. We're going to upload everywhere that you've come to know us at the same time. So we're going to be on YouTube, on Spotify, all those good places. And we're grateful that we can continue on as you have known us. It's just a season 2 wrapper. And as Fredo kind of noted, a new headquarters is beginning. We got shovels in the back.
Look, it's being built out, okay? There are shovels in the back. It is to expand, but it's also to bury anyone that leaks season 2 information. Don't do it, okay? You're on board. Get on it, all right? We're here to stay.
We're here to stay.
By watching the stream, you have now signed your 97-page NDA.
Yes.
Just so everyone's aware.
And actually, your NDA is the opposite of an NDA, which is the kind of confusing part about it, because it is a super disclosure agreement, which is that you're supposed to scream about it from the rooftops, which a lot of you have on social. Yeah, thank you. Couple other questions here. One from Random Ghost. They said, will you guys be having guest stars of any kind ever joining? It's a great question. I think we've been trying to crack that code for a minute now. I think we've had a guest before. But the formula being me digesting all of the research from Jillian and Christian and then talking to Fredo as he reacts to it has been so solid. It's trying to find the right way to insert somebody into that dynamic. Are they the expert? Are they the reactor? How do we balance that? Fredo, what do you think about guests though on Movie Club?
I think it's I for me, the Red Web has always been the core of us. And then there was always plans to kind of expand, and Movie Club was a natural way to expand. I also see Movie Club being a great way to bring in people from other content and whatnot, and maybe even some people that you guys know, so that way we could collaborate on specific movies, because who doesn't love movies, right? Everyone does, and if you're here, you love movies because we talk about it a lot, so you kind of don't have an option. So, yeah, I definitely see us featuring people eventually, just because we are still getting the rhythm of movie club going, trying to figure out like the pacing of it and everything like that, and we're all settling into that quite nicely. So, yeah.
Yeah. This one's kind of more for Christian. I'm curious on your thoughts. But Andrew Corliss, as well as, let me see, I don't want to miss the name. Simply G. Both kind of asked a similar question about doing ghost hunts, doing Halloween specials, doing live haunted sites, things of that nature. I know we've talked about it. We had it. I'll just burst this bubble. We were actually on the precipice of announcing a whole series where we were going to be doing it on a monthly basis,
We were.
culminating in a Halloween special finale. And so Christian was kind of like the brains behind producing a lot of that. So I'll let you kind of speak to that.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously would love to do it, but yeah, like Trevor said, I mean, you guys have no idea how close we were to announcing that. It was, it was just the worst timing. We'd love to do it. As as part of going independent, one of the things we have to figure out is what do the finances of everything look like, and luckily those ghost specials, those Halloween specials aren't crazy expensive, so it's really just kind of a conversation we're gonna have to have internally about like the business side of it. Do we try to set aside, like, do make that maybe a Patreon goal, or is it something where we just commit to it for the sake of being able to do it again and like release that stuff for you guys like you've come to expect, and then is it operating at a loss, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of like boring logistics discussions, but I mean, we would love to. It was, especially again, knowing we were so close to doing it. We had like locations we were looking at. We were already booking flights for the first one.
Yeah.
Like, it was so close.
I know. So really too, also is now that we've launched, we can kind of get a better idea of where we're at, but it's also figuring out what our free time is going to look like. There's a lot of
Yeah.
off hours. Like, I've just been working nonstop, kind of like on weird hours to make sure everything's sorted and good. We've all been doing various tasks in that sense. So once we kind of get the ball rolling again, we'll start to know our availabilities on things, because people have asked about case files and all that. Like, honestly, as in going independent, it's kind of starting back at square one. But there's some thoughts on like how to reapproach some of those shows, and it's also like another big thing is also figuring out if or how we can record in person, because honestly, the show launched remotely, and I think it was an amazing iteration of the show. But the moment we stepped in front of into the room, there's no cameras. It just felt better, and you can bounce off each other better. So it's kind of like getting our sea legs again a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say, just to piggyback off Trevor, give us the summer maybe, and then let us like get our legs under us, figure out, get settled back into this workflow of the podcast and movie club. And like Trevor said, we've lightly discussed ideas on how to start doing more content, but I think this next, would you say 2-3 months, we're just going to be kind of figuring it out, see what our time looks like.
Spinning things up,
Yeah.
people like Jillian flagged this one, like people have asked about merch. So, we're definitely trying to figure that out. Jillian's been working a lot with, well, I don't know if you want to talk about it, Jillian. Put you on the
If
spot.
I'm okay to, if it's all right to.
Yeah, we'll be vague. We're classified, you know?
We've been cooking something up.
A lot of scribbles on whiteboards. You have no idea how many whiteboards we have.
A whole sub-level dedicated to water coolers and whiteboards. It's real thirsty in there.
Yeah. And a lot of spices in that room for some reason. I don't know why.
Cayenne.
Smells really good. Smells really good. But something is cooking.
Yes.
Am I allowed to say who's cooking?
I would love to. I'd love to give them a shout out.
So Meg Turner from Mega 64, if anyone knows, she's cooking something up. It looks cool. I'm really excited.
Hell yeah.
I'm really excited.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Well,
Jillian's got
same.
the scoop. Jillian's like, well, I have, so F off. Let's see. On Patreon questions, Tyler Diamond said, did Neil Armstrong escape from the Warner Brothers vaults and reach Task Force HQ safely? I don't know where that jar of M&Ms went.
No.
We might have a Neil Armstrong spirit in the wild, or I might I might have it somewhere. I don't know.
Do M&Ms mold? If so, how long does it take for that to mold?
They're stable. They're stable foods.
Yeah, because all the preservatives.
Yeah. It's 50%.
Low key even scarier.
Yeah. I don't know where that is. I don't know. I'm glad Jillian got the Roswell alien though.
Yeah.
That's an alien wooden sculpture that our friend Armando Torres got when he was moving to Austin. He went through Roswell, picked that up, and now Jillian's holding on to it.
He's beautiful.
Let's see. Ink42 over on Patreon said, will patrons get access to back episodes ad-free? 100%. I have access to all those thanks to Nick Schwartz. He is our editor extraordinaire. He's the guy behind the scenes doing the audio tech stuff, uploading all the stuff to the RSS feeds over on Spotify, Apple, Google, all that good stuff.
I would say beyond editor, he is just the audio extraordinaire.
100%.
Yeah.
Through the podcast, like operational stuff, logistic stuff, editing. Nick is a mastermind.
He is a mastermind. He does way more than just edit, for sure. But because of him and his archival skill set, he is the task force archivist, I think. He's the one saving everything. We have that. It is going to be a little bit of a hands-on process, and I also don't want to, because it's all going to go to Patreon, so it can sync with the Patreon ad-free RSS feed that you can get over there. I want to be mindful that I don't blast the entire Patreon with like just nonstop posts, because it will bury a lot of things. So I'll probably do it in phases, but it's definitely going to happen. And we'll kind of keep you up to speed on when that happens. But yeah, before we dive into some more questions, I wanted to react to some of the comments that are very fun. So when we announced we were going independent, that hit all of social, YouTube, X, Instagram, everything. But YouTube especially went X. That's my ex. YouTube went wild with the in-world lore. So I'll start simple, because we were talking about going in person, and this is one of the in-jokes that came from being in person first. This is from Cramptonator, who said, "Get your Crocs and socks. The task force is on standby."
That was an early one.
I forgot about Crocs and socks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was way back. That's an OG.
Crocs and socks. The step up from flops and socks, which I was just cramming my socked toes into that thong.
Look, that's very early days of Red Web Task Force. Some of you may know, okay? Some of you may already be preparing that there is a Red Web Civil War brewing, okay? This is season 2. We have a lot of people coming in and be like, whoa, Red Web, found you guys, love you guys. We love that. We love new people. We love it. There's going to be the OGs, the day ones. Yes. Red Web Civil War. Whose side are you on? Is Squonk on your side? Is Sasquatch on your side? You got to start recruiting these cryptids, man.
Urglet?
Is Herglet on your side, or are you a Squonk individual? These are the questions that I think demand answers, Fredo. You are totally right.
Yeah.
Or
I
you
feel like
baby
you have
fans.
like Sasquatch on one side, Jersey Devil on the other. Then you just have everyone that sympathizes with Squonk like on the sidelines, melting away.
Just waving a white flag,
Just
going, "I'm
waving
just
a
here.
white flag."
I'm having a good time." Man, now I just want to see, like, I want to collaborate with Death Battle or something. It's a channel like that to just get like Mothman versus Bigfoot. Which one would tear the other apart?
True.
Okay, I want to dive into this other one. This one was an amazing back and forth between a handful of individuals. So it started out with Ryan Henderson 225. They said, in response to us coming back, they said, "Good, because the skeleton crew left behind in the task force headquarters were getting a little stir crazy. A couple breaches occurred. Some M&Ms got eaten, and we are still trying to get Neil Armstrong's ghost out of the one guy. It's been crazy. Can't wait to hear from you all again." And then blah blah 9036 responded with, "Renovation team reporting in. We've gotten 3 additional floors to add, then removed them. We've added to 3 additional floors, then removed them. Task Force HQ. We've also locked and barred that room. You know, the one. Let's see." Then I said,
It sounds so ridiculous, but if you follow the lore, they're doing a fantastic job.
100%.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Those are
They know
verified
it
agents. Yeah.
better than us.
It's like speaking a new language. You just go, somehow I understand that.
What the hell do we say on this podcast?
I did a little cheeky reference to a future movie club. Nod, nod, wink, wink. Room 402. We know that room. And then let's see. Mexic Anime said, janitorial crew, just me now, have at least contained all leftover squonk jars, and leakage is no longer an issue.
Just me now.
It's just me now.
So funny.
Ryan Henderson actually jumped back in and said, glad to hear janitorial has fulfilled their duty and is doing well. Still haven't heard back from electrical, though. So if you're in electrical and you're in the chat, you know, time's a ticking. You gotta let the other departments know.
Yeah, or just let us know that, you know, there's a pulse.
We got a
Are
pulse.
the lights on? I don't know.
Right.
This is our official wellness check on the electrical team. Please
Yeah.
sound off.
I would
So
love.
can we stop using candles?
Right. We got to stop with these candles. Get these lights fixed. No, flicker's part of the atmosphere. All right. Let's see. Okay, I'm back in the chat here.
Not my department.
Not my department. Grace was like, I'd rather not. I got my Owala, by the way. My Owala water bottle.
Oh, same. Repping the Owala.
Hold on a second. Fredo, where's yours?
Fredo?
Fredo,
What?
where's your Owala cup
What?
of knowledge, bro?
I didn't get this memo. What the hell? You guys have all these. A walla walla walla.
Walla Walla.
It's also Owala because when you start drinking out of it, it gives you like a little koala face.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed this memo completely. I'll be honest.
We'll catch up.
Catch up. Jillian, go ahead and draft up a memo, send it, burn it, and send it again.
Yeah.
Here's the
You
thing.
got it.
We've distilled things into sippy cup size drinks for you, Alfredo, for many, many years
That's
now.
true. That's true. I love my sippy cup.
We've been gone for a month and a half. The knowledge is overfloweth, and I don't know if a sippy cup can contain it anymore. You need the extra spout of. This is not a sponsorship, by the way. You need the sip and suck spout of an Owala water bottle to chug
Please?
that knowledge down.
Why is there so much? Like, there's so many like design features.
Let's get back
on
in there.
Just the top
Pop.
of that. It doesn't make any sense.
Hold on, like a makeup
Just-
tutorial.
Just look. Why is there two? Just give me a hole.
Straw suck.
Okay. Just give me
Gulp
a hole to
suck.
suck out of.
Suck out of that hole. Gulp out of that
Alright.
hole.
Please sponsor us.
Oh my God! If
Alright.
anybody knows somebody at Owala, if you know
You know Bill
Catherine
Owala?
Owala, if you know Catherine and Bill Owala, please.
Please.
Marciole was saying, "What are we squonking about?" Owala. Okay, we've already lost it.
What are we
We're
squonking
We're
about?
17 minutes in and we've lost it. Oh my God! Pigeon Studios said, "Clip that." By the way, if you haven't checked out the episode yet, it is available everywhere you listen to this podcast. New intro. It was like an emotional thing. I think we were talking about this before the stream to let go of the 4-year-old. But Jen Coomber of Pigeon Studios absolutely nailed it and elevated the intro. So Pigeon Studios, huge shout out to Jen and Pete Coomber for working with us and working so quickly too. We kind of had a crunchy timeline on our end, and they're the ones that are going to introduce all of you to every single episode moving forward. They're setting the tone, and it's so good. I love it.
And it's just awesome to have a song that's ours now. 'Cause
100%.
The old theme song we used, you know, it was great. We loved it. But somebody in chat mentioned it earlier, and we've seen it over the years. That was a stock site song, and it has been featured in other locations. And
It's so
now
weird.
It's really bizarre to hear it out in the wild. Like, wait a minute. But now this song's ours.
Interesting.
You will never hear
Uh-huh.
this song anywhere else unless it's on
Mine.
Red Web, unless someone steals it. So
Absolutely.
now we know if someone steals it, crack down. That's Red Web property.
Oh, I can do this. Hold
Yeah.
on. Don't move, Christian. Put that Owala down real quick. I'd never say that ever in my life, but I say it right now. Okay, don't move. Just picked your nose. I picked his nose, chat. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I've been cooped up for a month and a half, just busting at the seams to
He's
be
been
with these.
squirreling
I've
away.
been squirreling away. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jill?
Forget,
Jill,
I just wanna say
Jillian.
happy Pride.
Yeah, happy
Pride
Pride.
indeed.
Happy.
Happy Pride.
Throw that out there.
I think I grew out of my Pride Red Web shirt, but I've got it in my I've got a Tupperware bin filled with all the old merch. But
I don't think I have any of our shirts except for that like very first, the one that was like a salmon color with the red web. Like I don't even know how you describe it. Logo. I don't think I have any other shirts. I
That's
don't know if I
not
ever got
right.
any.
salmon.
Yeah, it was like pinkish, lightish red, and it had like red web and like a fancy typeface with like a collage of designs. It was an RTX
Oh
shirt.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's
My
the
mom
only
wears
one I
that one.
have, and I don't
Ye-
think it fits me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
lacking in
we're
the merch
working on
for
it.
our own show.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll dig some of those old numbers out, plus some maybe some cheeky new ones. Who knows? All right, what am I doing out here? Let me get back to some of these, probably some questions. I want to get back to those comments, but I also want to dive into some questions. Let's see. Episodes on YouTube says Midnight Coder. Over on Patreon, absolutely. You've seen it now. JFK assassination, lots of conspiracies. It's a deep one. It's a well. Jillian, being our researcher, I don't know if you want to speak to it because it's so windy.
Yeah, it was a difficult one because I was new to it, and there's just so many different paths to go down that it's hard to decide. But
Yeah.
yeah,
At a
I was
cer-
almost like, maybe we should do two.
We could have, for sure. It's tough with ones like that to like find the way to cover as much as possible, given that every week we do an entire different topic. And so we want to give as much coverage to anything as possible without like putting in 80 hours of research into at a certain point there's diminishing returns. But there's also like, especially with conspiracy ones, like people just find new rabbit holes to kind of invent. Cause some people, when you're just
Yeah.
conspiracy-ing away, you just go, well, what about this? I mean, we kind of even do it on the show. We just go,
Yeah.
could be that. Maybe we started our own conspiracy.
It's true.
But speaking of that, you can sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/redweb. Lots of bennies over there. But you can also sign up for free. And I'm trying to do my best to make sure that we as the task force leaders, the HQ leaders, put out some stuff for free members as well. And so one of those kind of posts every single weekend, you're going to get a sneak peek, a topic reveal for what the episode that coming Monday is going to be.
Someone
Obviously-
did ask. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
Someone asked, like, what's the best way to support us if they can't sub to the Patreon?
100%. The best way to support us is still becoming a free member over on Patreon. But also, reviewing us is another great way to boost us in that good old algorithm of Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. It lets new folks that find us, like they're going to dive into the reviews and see, well, what's the general feeling here? And then also, of course, like I think genuinely the biggest way to support us freely is sharing us with at least somebody that loves mysteries. To bring somebody else into the task force is truly amazing and something that we're very, very grateful for. But yeah, we're gonna say something, Frade?
No. Yeah, a word of mouth is like huge. It's honestly like the best way because supporting us on Patreon is huge because that's how we actually get to continue doing this. You know what I mean? The more support that we get on Patreon, the more that we get to do this as a full-time job and not have to go look for other jobs. So that's great. But then also, we got to grow. So word of mouth, letting other people know, passing that along, and hopefully like getting someone into the task force. Not a cult, just the task force as a whole. Get them in there.
That's the thing too. We try to find that respectful line of like, all right, we're coming in heavy with the in jokes, which could be a bit of a wall for anybody who's like, okay, what is task force? What are these sub levels? And so like helping guide somebody into our 4-year-old world now is wild. But yeah, kind of coming back to case files and expanding the show into what was going to be called Investigates, a little tease there. Yeah, it really all comes down to the Patreon, and we are able to regrow back from our core as a pure direct parallel to the Patreon performance. Let's see. Back in the Patreon questions, Ramsey Savage asked, are there any topics that you would not have been able to cover before that you are now excited to do in season 2? Honestly, not really. There was never any like limitations. Jillian, I don't know if like you do a lot of the ideation and finding of topics. Do you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, no, we've never had that come up. I think we do a little bit of our own like self-censorship, not censorship, that's the wrong word.
We have like our
But,
own
like,
rules.
We have our own rules for what we'd like to cover and what we don't feel comfortable covering. But
Yeah.
that's just that we never had any interaction with anybody above us. If
Yeah.
that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we never had pushback from higher ups or anything like that. They were always very open to letting us just run the show.
Yeah. I will say, though, some of the rules kind of are, just so you guys might be aware, because now we're part of the tiers is like making requests and suggestions for topics for movies and episodes, but also like a lot of the things we shied away from are open cases, recent history cases. Lots of other podcasts cover those. Totally understand it. No judgment there. I just like my personal disposition, and I think a lot of us have agreed when we chat about it, is like, if it's ongoing, I don't want to be theorizing in a way that could sway something or make people feel a certain way about it. Like, I just don't think that that's our role. And so, like, if it is a cold case, still open technically, but there hasn't been any like active investigation or active news, then that's kind of where we're like, okay, let's dive in. And if there are revelations, we always try to give those updates. So it's a broad or a very gray zone, but it's usually, Christian, what would you say, Jillian? Like, if it's like after 2005 or 10, it's like a general time.
Even
2000's always been my soft cutoff.
Yeah.
even sometimes the 90s too is where, just because families are
once-
still very involved in the
Yeah,
searches.
once we are getting closer to that threshold, then we just kind of take it on a case by case basis of what are the details, like just leave it at that. Like, what are the details of the case? How comfortable do we feel about some of this stuff? Because there are some where it's like, like Springfield 3 was in the 90s, we covered that, but then there are some cases that we've looked into that just have a lot more I don't know how you'd say it, like darkness, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just with that recency in mind, we just don't feel comfortable touching it.
Little
So, like,
raw.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And so, like, with that rule set in mind, like, I've seen people in chat and people over the years have been asking for this. That's why we haven't done mysteries like the I may be mispronouncing the name, the Elisa Lam mystery, is because that's something that was just far too recent and there's just a lot of nuances there. And because of the recency, we just never have felt comfortable delving into stuff like that.
Yeah. And also just like, there are some conspiracy theories that, I mean, I try to be very candid about it in episodes like today's, but some conspiracies can be like very curious and very intriguing. Some conspiracies can be based on very problematic beliefs and you might not even know it. Some conspiracies can lead you down a dangerous algorithmic rabbit hole. I talked about that in the Dead Internet Theory episode. We want to be aware of our responsibility. When you come to watch our content, we want to make sure we handle it with respect, but we never know what the algorithm will do after us, what video you'll be sent to after. And so it's always being very mindful of what is surrounding our cases as well, so we don't step in it. But let's see. Devin Jenkins in the chat said, they tagged all of us. I just lost it. But I know they asked, what is your favorite thing to do for Red Web? It's a bit different now since we're in season 2. Responsibilities have shifted. But yeah, are there any like standout responsibilities that you guys have enjoyed?
Are we talking about like responsibilities or like projects that we've done?
Honestly, it seems a bit open-ended. I'll let you answer as you interpret.
I can answer both then. For responsibilities, honestly, I just enjoy producing the show and producing the brand, like producing content and producing is basically just making the thing happen, building the plan, building the structure, and then executing from start to finish. And then always being able to work on creative for stuff. But from a project perspective, nothing will top the ghost hunts. They will always and forever be the best thing that we've done. Like, I think we had our best one yet with the USS Hornet. I think
that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like the flashlights and stuff.
God, the flashlights, man.
Even from like a technical standpoint, a lot of people were like, oh, because of heat, like the way the lights heat up or whatever. It was still very interesting to like be a part of that.
What am I doing? I'm messing with OBS while I'm doing this. Boom! What a lovely font. All right. Sorry, you're just all seeing it happen live. Independence! Just Christian bursting out laughing.
I saw it happen live.
Yeah.
I was like, my ADD took over, and I went, I should do that. And I just like, you probably saw my eyes glaze over as I went.
The production quality of the stream is unparalleled.
Looked pretty okay until I started doing all that. I agree. I'll just keep it simple. Ghost hunts, 100%. Let's see. The same person also asked of Jillian, favorite Red Web moment. I would add to that, could be on camera or off camera.
It's tough, but I loved when we did the experiments, the Gansfeld experiments.
Yeah.
That was just so fun for us and the crew. I think everybody had a good time. And then also just like putting y'all through that was just so funny. The dirt, that was hilarious. I knew Fredo was going to choose dirt. I knew it, but I was like, I'll give options.
Yeah.
I think for me, it definitely has to be the Case Files episode where we had a debate, a PowerPoint presentation about owls versus catfish. And I think for me, that's definitely my favorite thing because of the fact that it was received so well. So to me, that meant that we had people here not just for the mysteries, but for our dumb antics. And that also meant, within reason, within you guys essentially gave us a big playground to play in.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So to be able to like not have to talk about a serious mystery or anything like that and literally just sit there, goof off, present a PowerPoint presentation about which is more dangerous, an owl versus catfish. And to me, that meant that we were able to really, truly like get serious or just be absolutely stupid with the content.
Just being ourselves is like so liberating, I think.
Yeah.
Having a good time while also talking about potentially nefarious actions, topics.
Yeah, that's a really good. I definitely agree with that one. That's a great call.
Let's see. Oh God, Bill, I lost your question. I scrolled. Damn it.
Control F.
Control F, Bill. Everybody, Control F, Bill. Help me find that question.
Bill.
Oh God,
That's right.
Where is it? It's lost. And now because of that, I've forgotten it.
Thanks,
Oh,
Bill.
Bill asked, maybe it was Ben. They asked, will we be uploading old content to anywhere? 100%. There's some that's one of the tier benefits. Starting at the first tier, the $5 tier, you get access to archival stuff, deleted stuff, bonus stuff. Still kind of grabbing some stuff that you haven't seen before, some stuff that never came out, some stuff that was deleted, what have you. And so those will be rolling out on a periodic basis. We want to make sure that at least, that there's periodic bonus content, like monthly. At least you get something for supporting us at that level. And obviously the tiers stack. So if you're in the $10 tier, you get everything from that plus some more. But yeah, my hope is to slowly roll some stuff out. Like for example, tomorrow on June 4th, there's a small kind of behind the scenes peek and kind of retrospective item. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but to me, it's like it shows us from before we even launched, and it shows us now at our launch. There's this really interesting graphic I just happened to find on my computer from exactly 4 years ago. And so I'm excited to see you guys kind of see a piece of our history. I know Jillian knows about it. I don't know if I snuck it past Alfredo and Christian, so they might not know what I'm talking about, but
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, all offline. It's top secret stuff. But yeah, so definitely want to put up old stuff in addition to the old episodes. Just gonna have to roll it out so we don't create a bunch of noise and inundate everybody. But yeah, with the topic of catfishes and owls, I agree. going back to that. I love being able to kind of spread our wings and be able to balance comedy and lightheartedness with the sensitivity and respect that heavy topics require. And with that, coming back to the YouTube reactions, there was Phagemizer that said, I can't wait to hear Christian's sultry tones say, this is an owl production. and then Chipper Monkey said, yes, and then at the end he'll say, you're all being catfished.
Oh, okay. Bring it all together. Some big brains out there.
This was before we had, when our friends and coworkers were launching their podcasts. Stinky Dragon just launched their Patreon 2 days ago, so go check them out. It's my fiance's team. They do a bunch of D&D stuff. But then there's also 100% Eat and Regulation Podcast and a bunch of other Patreons happening. I lost the thread. They all have like different company names, right? And so a lot of people were having fun with reacting to those and seeing those. And so some people were kind of theorizing, oh, what's Red Web's going to be? Is it going to be Owl Productions? I don't know. Do you want to say it, Christian? Do you want to give them that soundbite?
Give them the soundbite of the Owl production?
This is an Owl production.
Now we have to make them earn it. If we get 10 squonks in the next 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh God. I will
Man's
say,
like, if we strike a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow in the next 20 minutes.
Speaking of, I'm going to. Oh my God, we've gotten 2 more squonks since I looked. But
thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and shout out all of our squonks right now because they're going to get a shout out in every episode. They're going to be in every episode credits. So let's see. We'll also have to message some individuals to see exactly how they want to be shouted out. If they want their full name. Oh, Bars and Tone.
Christian.
That's hilarious.
Haunted.
Independent, right? So, okay, squonks in no particular order. And I'm just going to give first names. We got Peter. We've got Andy. We've got Alex. We've got Mitch, Jarrett, and Juan. So thank you all so much for being huge supporters at the squonk tier. Get yourself into that squonk swamp over in the Discord VIP channels. We'll message you guys for that priority episode or movie suggestions, or you can send it in the VIP channel anyway. Since you mentioned the squonks, I had to give them a shout out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Squonks. Is
I
Christian okay?
I will distill them each into a liquid vial. I will use to preserve my youth.
They're like formaldehyde. It's like I stay young by injecting squonk water directly into my face.
It's got to be good for something.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Skincare regimen.
As part of the flavor, you're still here. You're just Discord now. As part of the flavor text, I said there's a whole subfloor level where we each individually carried buckets of Pennsylvanian swamp water down to that subfloor to make the swamp environment. We got the moss and the trees. Jillian brought a pocket full of mosquitoes. But there's also special sunglasses. So as a squonk tier member, you won't melt if you're perceived. And so you can perceive one another in your swamp. Special sunnies that'll prevent you from melting just for you guys.
I just feel like you're wandering around Task Force HQ. You open a door you shouldn't open, and inside is just candles in a circle, and there's a bunch of little tiny squonks with cult robes on, and you just go, oh.
As soon as the door opens, though, it's like mosquitoes
and they
and
all
humidity.
have their little name tags.
Yeah, but as soon as you see it, all the robes drop, like the Wicked Witch, because they just drop and you hear a splash.
That's how I perceive that in my mind.
Right.
Just letting you guys know.
Right, but Allison's right. This isn't a cult.
It's not a cult. Look, we all might be joined together and have occasional meetings like this, and some of you may be out recruiting, and I know some things line up.
There's rituals.
Yeah, it's not a cult.
Okay.
I think Julie in the chat was asking where they can send physical art.
Oh,
I think the best way to do that right now is just to digitize it in some way, shape, or form, even if it's taking a picture of it.
Mhm.
I mean, if we get like a mass amount of requests for physical, then we could start opening up maybe like a PO box or something like that. But
100%.
that's like a whole thing to like go through.
What is this?
Hello,
What do we have
Cat.
here?
Octavius,
The most human cat.
the most human cat.
Whoa, Otto Octavius! Dang, I didn't
Whoa.
know. Whoa, where are the rest of his arms? Keep him away from Spider-Man.
Where's the rest of the Sinister Six? You need to
Made
have
it
5
too
more
easy to
cats
bring it
over
into
there.
Marvel. I'm sorry.
Always on the mind. Isn't oh, forgive me. What's the name of the amazing actor that plays him in the Sam Raimi version?
Alfred Molina.
Yes, Alfred Molina. Wasn't he signed up for like 5 movies? So technically he could show up again. Like they got to close that loop. Hence part of like the Spider-Verse.
I think everyone will show up when it in at least one more big shebang.
Shebang.
I think so.
Let's see. Before we go into some more questions, we have Crazy Asian Man 286 is their username on YouTube. They said Field Outpost 712363 here. We got a lot of outposts, but they don't start at 1. Our numeric system is leaves some room to be desired, but it's part of the confusion, right? No one can track us. So they said, glad to hear you in command. Situation is getting desperate here. One of our scientists got possessed after finding a grave beneath the local football field, and temporal anomalies are becoming more and more frequent. We have taken refuge amongst the protection of some ghosts. Our possessed coworker allegedly sent to hold off demons. We'll continue to monitor the situation. Listen, you're on your own. This is a outpost 712363 matter. And you can hit up our communications department if you have any qualms. It is a trash paper bin.
Seems like an issue for Task Force HR. I'll be honest.
My shirt is getting
but
hacked.
you know,
Wait, what?
The more the Patreon grows, the more we'll be able to send over maybe like some salt that you can put in a circle, and then
One
maybe some holy
teaspoon.
water.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
1
send
teaspoon
water.
of
You have
salt.
to make it holy.
Yeah, you'll have to make it holy. Hope you have a cross or something.
Jillian, what was getting hacked?
My shirt. If
Your
you look at
shirt?
the stream, it's
What filter do you have on it?
So there is because the Discord call has like a black background, I just keyed out black, but her shirt is so dark that it's keying that out too. I wonder if I can make an adjustment
Probably.
on this here
Lobe.
fly. Let's see, go to
Lobe is
filters.
haunting us.
Lobe.
I'm melting.
Hold on. Discord cams, filters. We're out here on the fly. The sensitivity is down at the bottom. So let's just raise
it's
it to the
cool.
top.
It's hot.
Okay. It is just going to have to be what it be. Why is you're being consumed by HQ?
God
and,
dang it.
and he's gone.
God dang it.
It's haunted. I'm telling you.
Look, baby, look, hey. Task Force, we're independent, okay?
These things
All right,
honest.
these are the leaky roofs, and
this
We're
is
on a
why
shoestring budget.
this is why we remodel and deconstruct and remodel again. Because if we left the remodel go too long, you'd start to see the nails fall out and the cracks in the walls form.
Hey, this is the independent life, so we're in your capable hands.
Absolutely. Okay, let me head back in here and look some more questions. Oh my gosh. This is a heavy one. Adam Henderson over on Patreon. What are the 6-month, 1-year, 5-year goals now that you are all independent? Should we expect you guys to scale back, bulk up, our ghost sense on this? So we answered some of that. But I'll just go ahead and confront it directly. That is a hell of a question. 6 months. I think by 6 months, we will be past a merch launch. We will hopefully, as Christian kind of said, be in a zone where we can at least realistically confront other productions, if that's possible, whether we do them remotely like this or we have studio access. Those are the questions we're hoping to have more clarity on by 6 months. 1 year, I'll be happy if we're kicking it. I just want to I just want to do this show. I just want to do this podcast and hang out with these 3 individuals And that's kind of that's just my humble desires right now, you know. And in a few months from now, maybe we'll have those goals will be bigger. But what an amazing question. How about you guys? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's just to be able to continue to do this. I think that's just the goal at the forefront. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This has been launched. We are excited to see the Patreon grow, and then see kind of like where it grows, where it settles, and then from there assess, like, in all honesty, like, what do the funds look like? Is it enough to support us full time, part time? Oh, it's growing a lot. Okay, cool. Then we can ramp things up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yep, and we'll keep you posted too as things go along. But again, like, huge shout out to the patrons over at Patreon. Like, really, genuinely, now that we're independent, you're like the lifeblood, 100%. So thank you for that. I did see a question earlier, and so forgive me, I missed the username because it's rapidly scrolled by. But a few people have asked in general, what are the community events going to look like, and will you guys be doing live streams more? So they're kind of, for now, one and the same. I think our community events are going to be, we want to keep them dynamic, and so they're not all too familiar, or similar, I should say. But there'll be anything from like game nights like we've done before, where the four of us hop into a spooky game and just have a good time over in the Discord. If you want to be part of those events, that's the Buff Scientist tier and up. But other times it's going to be like topic debriefs or Q's and A's. I always put both plural, like my dad. Q&A's in general, just like hanging out. A lot of things like that. I think I might have put another example in the tier of what you can expect, but broadly, that's kind of what we've chatted about.
Movie
we
night?
also talked about
Oh,
movie
right.
nights for when we're watching stuff for Movie Club.
Yeah.
Discord and watch a movie with y'all.
Yeah, so if you ever want to do a movie night with us, we can like watch one of the movies together that is going to become a movie club. And we can also do like polls to see what kind of community event you guys would be looking forward to. But that way, if we have at least 4 or 5 types of those events, we can keep it fresh, so not every stream feels so similar. Some much more hands-on and engaging, some more like creating unique content in that moment. And then the obvious question after that would be, will those become VODs? We might make them VODs. We might be able to capture those, so then we can put them on the Discord for everybody who has access to Discord events, but then wasn't able to be there, or in the future becomes a Buff Scientist. They can look back on previous tiers. So that way you have that archival content. Nix just asked, will there be Red Web / Task Force patches? Would love to adorn my dog's vest with a patch and make her an official Task Force pup. Well, they're already a Task Force pup. That's just how it works. You speak the words, you are now a task member. Colt. Not a Colt. Somebody misspoke.
That was something we wanted to do. That was something in the works, but we'll see.
100%. It's like, it's figuring out what will create a product that not only you guys obviously want, but at a price point that is reasonable, and sourcing all that stuff. Like before in season 1, we had an amazing merch team that we could just kind of talk to, and they would do all the machinations behind the scenes.
God dang it!
They would ship it to you guys. We'd have a factory or a warehouse. So it's like figuring all that stuff out. It feels so simple, but it actually has a lot of like logistical intricacies. So we would love to do it. I'd love to bring this hat back. If we could, I would love to bring the tinfoil hat back. It's actually here. It's this hat lined with tinfoil. Well, it's soft. It's soft foil.
Don't worry.
Protect your brains. But some of this stuff is like custom. And so that took a factory specifically making it. Obviously, like, to put a custom lining in here took a minute. So it's like trying to keep our expectations reasonable. But oh my God, I would love to have patches. I'd love to have all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, patches would be so sick.
Yeah. Let's see.
There were a number of people in the comments who were asking about the posters behind me. They are not Critical Role posters, but I am a critter. They are Marvel posters. I think they got off like Etsy or something. They were a gift, but they're the Avengers behind me.
Oh, that's cool.
Which you would be able to see if my camera worked.
Yeah.
In lieu of that, I've got there's my screen. I've got this old thing, the Bigfoot Origins poster, the movie poster that we had. There's me twice. And then on my wall that you can't see over here and over there, maybe if I pull out, I've got the Ecto Baby up there. So I've got all of our old movie posters. So if I can find those files, I'd love to even bring posters back.
My mom wants y'all to sign hers. She got some of the posters.
Done. Absolutely.
You're always the best.
Christian's camera is haunted, said Red West.
Oh yeah.
I love how many familiar names I've seen over these 4 long, beautiful years. So many people coming back at our relaunch, and a lot of new faces too. I'm curious, and if you want to chuck it in the chat, how long you guys have been listening. That would be a wild thing to see. But, that's a great thing that somebody pointed out. Julie Nelson pointed this out. A lot of people have asked, once you become a Patreon member, how do you get access to the exclusive Discord? So once you're a $5 tier member or up, you have access to the Patreon. I've heard that some people, day one, baby, so many day ones since the start. I saw somebody that was like 2 months or 2 weeks ago. I fucking love that too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Curse words, huh?
Welcome.
All 4 years. Dang, so many people. Thank you guys so much for being here again.
A lot of day ones.
At the new day one. Yeah, dude.
We're going to have to check those numbers. A lot of day ones here.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
just, someone's cooking.
I feel like some day 2 pluses are slipping through the cracks right now. Okay.
Someone's cooking these books.
You will be receiving your day 1 quizzes immediately after the stream, so we can test to see if you've actually been here since day 1.
So I was like, oh shit.
3.5 years. You pulled some honesty out of Iron Matt.
It got lost, but I put a link in chat for how to link your Discord.
Okay, great. Yeah, I want to come back to that. So some people said that there's an email. I'm admittedly new to the Patreon ecosystem, but there's an email that'll tell you how to do it. Otherwise, there are Patreon blog posts that are like how to do it. I put a step-by-step in at least the comments, if not edited into the post itself about the Patreon new perks. We have new perks, by the way, just as of yesterday, as far as like VIP rooms. If you join the Patreon this month, exclusively the month of June 2024, you will passively get and permanently have a role called Founder to show that you were here at the new day one. Fredo, this is going to future-proof these numbers,
R2,
you know.
A New Hope.
A New Hope again. But this way, we'll see you in the future. So when there's another relaunch in 4 years from now, season 3, and you come in saying day 1, part 2, we'll know.
Look, we'll check it.
But anyway, long story short, once you go into the settings, link your Discord to Patreon, you should be able to see all the servers that you have access to. Just click that; it'll take you right in. You're gonna get your roles automatically. We're still working with the mod team, the amazing. Let's see, Rhaegar, Colin Parker, and Nubian Princess, as well as Jillian has done a lot of work with. Forgive me, it was Bruno and. Nancy, who helped set everything up. And so you'll see them in there as well with the secret classified role. So huge shout out to everybody who has helped set up the Discord. It's still evolving, but you're going to see these names around. So huge shout out to all of them. But yeah, the roles are passive. The access should be simple from there. And if you're still confused, feel free to like help other individuals like find that information or a quick Google. But I want to put together an FAQ. So that way on our Patreon, if you have any questions, stuff we answered here, what have you, I can point to that and help you all get sorted. Let's see. As we come down to the end of the hour, I want to come back to some of the funny comments. So Vic Nightingale, oh, nice smooth word, 552 said, in reference to us coming independent, they said, so the sacrifices of buff scientists to my sippy cup of knowledge have been working. Excellent. Can't condone sacrifices. Once again, hit up HR. That's a different department. Again, it's a waste paper basket. It is. That's a terrible thing to say. Office reference. But thank you very much for sacrificing a little bit of knowledge to the cup to bring the podcast back.
Clearly, it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, it was
Can't
like
argue
a
with that.
Dragon Ball Z spirit bomb. I did feel a little tingle, and I went, something's happening.
I think I just lost one brain cell. If everyone commits one brain cell, that's 8 billion brain cells. Okay, that's almost a person. How many do we have? Okay, the Tailored Mason said, what glorious news! I think I'm going to speak for everyone here and say that you guys are the best movie podcast about mysteries, and not having you around leaves quite the hole in the heart. Can't wait for you guys to be slanging and banging spookiness into our ear holes once again.
It's just so dumb.
And again, it's its own language, and it's not a cult, you know?
It really is.
Zoolog HFFC says, we at the task force have become accustomed to the constant renovations, floor plan changes, and remodels. This too shall become another wing in the labyrinth of the task force HQ. I love it. The twisty, winding turns. You will get lost, and that's part of it.
That is part of it.
We just want to make sure that you are with us to stay. And so we send you down to the Welcome Center on subfloor 98 and say, good luck. And honestly, that is the maze sublevel. The actual welcome desk is, well, I won't tell you where it is, but at the end of the maze, there's an elevator that goes right to it. So you'll be lost with us, tucked away in the crevices of the halls. Scratches have been found from many a task force member. Things like help. Things like I can't find my way out. Other lovely messages like that. I'm happy to be here has been scratched in to the walls. So if you find yourself lost, you're in good company. You're actually lost together.
You're right where you should be.
Yeah.
It's so dark.
You're down there. You're a maze runner. Just don't catch fire, okay? Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm. What do? They do what's the symbol? They do
The
woo woo. Oh, right. There we go.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's what they do.
And my favorite moment was when Katniss was able to find Peter, who was all painted up like bark. But the way she did it was because she accidentally gave him the Vulcan nerve pinch while she was climbing, and he and he locked up and fell off the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any last minute questions from the chat? Let us know. There's definitely going to be some questions that we could have missed, but we'll still be on the socials. We'll still be in Patreon answering any questions we see. We're still going to put that FAQ together, but give us some time. There's a lot happening, a lot to stay on top of. I still need to make, for example, the social post for the JFK episode. Huge shout out to Josie, who put that to be seen graphic together. Because of her, we're going to have, so obviously Pigeon Studios, because of them, we have a new theme to the episode, new music, new ambiance. And now because of Josie, we have a new vibe over on the socials. So we're kind of entering this new, almost neo-noir era. So leaving the old 50s noir behind, the black and white, the trench coat kind of Men in Black investigation style, and entering more of a kind of like Blade Runner, TVA from Loki, 70s into 80s neo-noir. I just love that aesthetic. But yeah, I'm going to post that whenever I can later today. Thomas said, what, if any, cases could you not do before but can now? We talked about that before, but there really wasn't any limits other than our own kind of rules that we gave ourselves. Just guidelines for kind of keeping respect and responsibility. Would you guys get, says Game of Thrones or GOT, THT, fire. Would you all get matching tattoos of Red Web? I don't have any tattoos yet.
Yeah, I don't have any. I feel like if I was to get my first one, then from there, like the floodgates open. you know?
It's bad. I have like 7 or 8 now. I don't even know.
And they're all red web. That's wild.
That is
I
gnarly.
appreciate the commitment.
Yeah.
It's like it's all down her back, like a NASCAR jacket where it's just sponsors.
I'm gonna get a squonk teardrop tattoo right here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I get a teardrop.
10,000 supporters on Patreon. Squonk teardrop.
Every teardrop is actually a squonk you've melted by looking at it.
Yeah.
Let's see some suggestions. Love to see it. I don't know if we have it already, but I think there's a suggestions channel in the Discord because I don't want to lose track of those. When you say air quotes independent, says Drago Mangoes, do you mean that you own the rights to Red Web? Yes. Simply enough, we are able to stay as Red Web. We are able to post everywhere that you've come to know us, whether it be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff, the RSS feed. And then we also have a new premium RSS feed. If you knew us from season 1, the first membership with Rooster Teeth, or Apple Premium, Spotify Premium, all those I think will stay up. I don't know what happens to those, honestly. They might go away. But suffice to say, there will be a new premium Patreon ad-free RSS feed that you can easily... I synced the Spotify, so you can already jump over to Spotify. If you have Apple, Google, Pocket Casts, or anything like that, you will have an RSS feed link that you can grab from Patreon. Go to the app. Apple, for example, has a little plus. You just put it in, and then forever it's there. So it's basically just, there he goes. It's just linking. It's just linking those two. Okay.
Do we have an email folks can send stuff to?
Do
like
we have an email?
suggestions?
We have an email, and I think part of it is public, but it's not the ideal email. We need to set up a whole new email ecosystem because we just we've lost access to the old Red Web So stand by for any news on PO boxes. Stand by for any news on an email. Those are things to come. Goodness gracious!
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Trevor was saying about where you can access the podcast. The main takeaway, because we've seen a number of questions. Now that we're back, your listener experience should not change. You should be able to tune in to the podcast every Monday, just like you did before, and everything should be right as it was before we were independent.
Let's see. One last question, I think, to button things up, and then we each have to jump into some other things. I lost the phrasing specifically, but it was... If the budget, this is from Jane, if budget allows, would you do other location stuff other than ghosts? Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Easy.
more specifically like UFOs. And I mean, we've talked about wanting to do the
Secret.
Well, the Secret. Yeah, the Secret.
The treasure hunt.
Dyatlov Pass. Like being able to go to other locations, Mothman Bridge, stuff like that. 100%. But yeah, with that said, I think it is time to wind down the welcome back stream. I really I feel like I've been saying thank you a lot, and I'm just overwhelmed with the outpouring of support of the episode launching, the Patreon launching. Movie Club episode 1 about Scream is out. You can listen to that on podcast apps, but you can also watch it in video form. We wanted to give you guys something visual to look at, so I have a lot of screenshots in there. But that's Fredo's show that he's hosting. He's also gone.
He's gone too.
He got shy. But
Yes, sir.
but with that said, thank you all so much. It's been an absolute treat to be back with you all. Such a warm welcome. And one last shout out before we all say our goodbyes. Patreon.com/redweb. Any final words, everybody, before we head out?
Love you all. Thank you so much.
I just want to say, I need everyone to understand how much work Trevor has been putting into getting this Patreon up and running.
Yes, seriously.
He has been pouring blood, sweat, and tears, working all sorts of insane hours, shouldering so much of this, and it's all up primarily because of him. So please give him the flowers this man deserves. He's incredible.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You and Jillian as well. You guys have been jumping into random things here and there. I don't know. I'm just really excited that we can continue to work together. Jillian, any final thoughts?
Thank
I gotta
you.
go. See you guys.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Task Force.
It's been wonderful.